What is up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Built on Bitcoin podcast, where we're showcasing all of the apps and founders being built on stacks secured by Bitcoin. I'm your host, Jake. You'll see me around as Jake Blockchain. And this is one of the This Week in Stacks episodes where we're breaking down everything that happened in the past 7 days or so in the Stacks ecosystem. And I don't know if you're like me, but it feels like I'm living 7 lives with how fast crypto moves, because I got notes, I'm going to run off the notes, and there was a shitload that happened. So we're going to start with some bad news. Arkadiko, which is the new stablecoin platform that went live like 10 days ago, was exploited. So the attacker was able to drain 400,000 stacks and 750,000 USDA by creating some kind of bogus pair. And I think the idea was that you would create 2 pairs, and then that gets attached to a liquidity token. And somewhere in that handshake, there was some bogusness going on, and he was able to drain about 25% of the liquidity pools at that time. After the fact, Arkadiko was able to launch a contract that somehow burned the 750,000 USDA, is my understanding, but the 400,000 stacks are gone. So yeah, pretty bummer. If you want to read more about it, because I try to understand what's going on here, but this stuff is above my head. But if you Google Arkadiko Exploit post-mortem, it's the first thing that pops up. And yeah, so it's shitty to see this go on with a new big project. You want things to go smoothly, but hackers going to hack. People are going to exploit when they see an opportunity. So we just got to be better. Luckily, it sounds like the fact that Clarity is the way it is, the exploit was able to be found super quickly. We can all learn from it as a group. And they actually used the same exploit to drain the rest of the pool to secure the funds and keep them safe. So I'm not sure, I've heard, but this wouldn't be as easy if you were trying to pin this down on Solidity or some other programming language. So shouts out to Clarity. Yeah, next up on the list, there was a big debate between Bitcoiners and ETH holders. It was between Munib and Dennis Porter, who took the position of Bitcoin, and Dustin Hoffman, I think his name is, and Justin Drake, who represented Ethereum. And they had a debate about what is sound money. And, as a Bitcoiner, you hear that and it's clear. Like, you need proof of work, you want to have decentralization, and it needs to move slowly because that means that it's stable. And Ethereum is kind of the opposite of that, but they took a different position. And it was a pretty good debate. It was like over an hour, and it had some interesting topics on the way that these two sides think about the problem. And it starts by they don't have the same base level assumptions, or they carry the same assumptions, but they start at different levels of analysis. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I learned a lot. Something else that happened, StackSwap went live, which is the first proper DEX on Stacks. I don't think it's fully functional as it stands, but you can go to stackswap.org and play with it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's like the Stacks version of Uniswap. So that's what they're going for. Being able to swap out Stacks for a Miami coin or Miami coin for something else and not have to go to an exchange is amazing. So we're hoping this comes out and, gets a bunch of liquidity, and we can all use this effortlessly because it's sorely needed. So super dope. Shouts out to the StackSwap team, Sungmin, whoever else is on there. Y'all are killing it. What else? There was a Halloween NFT competition where you would make an NFT, mint it through Boom, send it to their wallet, stacksfoundation.btc, and then they chose 10 winners. There was 3 first place. I'm not sure what the distribution was for the second and third, but yeah, I won one of them with my funny little meme about Munib joining the Ethereum Foundation. Yeah, fun little challenge. I like the way that they're doing these little giveaways. It keeps the community engaged. So that was tight. You can check out some of the winners by going to stx.is/spooky-winners. You'll see the 10 winners there. The rest of these are NFT related. So the big one that went wild at the beginning of the week is Megapont. Yeah, Megapont launched and it went crazy. They were already starting to get some love from some of the more established developers in the community by how well their code looked and their Clarity contract was written. So I was already kind of eyeballing that and going, this is something I should check out. But I wasn't on the whitelist, so it went live. People aped in, and immediately the secondary market went nuts. Like, I don't think we've seen something like this. Bitcoin Birds kind of did it, but Megapont went crazy. So the floor went to 400 overnight, I believe, and that's when I was able to score one. And then I think 2 days later, the floor had been up to almost 1,400. So mint price of 50 to 400 to 1,400 in a matter of a couple of days. Super crazy volume, super crazy hype. Everyone was trying to get into it. Since then, with the Arties, which has launched, they did like a pre-release mint, and the Explorer Guild launched, the floor has come back down. So I think it's around 550 right now. And this is interesting because I think we're seeing that there might not be enough Stacks holders in the community to have enough liquidity and hype to keep the floor prices up when there's 4 competing projects on the horizon. Because we have Megapont, Arties, Explorer Guild, and Crash Punks all within the month. And if you want to ape into one, and there's only so many of us who can buy in, you got to sell off some of your things, which pushes the price down because supply is up. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Megapont went nuts. The Arties did their first initial pre-mint. It's not their official whitelist, but they minted 100 Arties on stacksnft.com. And in 2 days, on the 5th, is their first official whitelist mint, with the full launch on the 10th, I believe. So, yeah, Arties is going crazy. Explorer Guild, the pre-mint happened 2 days ago, and the open mint is now live as of this morning at like 11 a.m. my time, which is Pacific. So, if you're still hearing this, I'm dropping this on a Wednesday evening. There was 2,000 minted out of 10,000 currently, so it's not too late to hop in there. There are 100 stacks. The art is dope, and it gets you access to a free creator plan from Sigle if you hold on to it. So it comes with perks. Shout out to that team though. Leo, Arties, and Quentin are absolute machines that make beautiful, beautiful things. So yeah, they're dope. Next on my list, there's been a bunch of innovation in the NFT marketplaces. We're now seeing an STX NFT, Stacks Art, and Byzantium all change their design. They're offering different things. Some of them have collections on the main page, so they're showcasing certain projects. Some of them, the main page will just have a collection of everything that's recently listed. Some of them will have rarity scores. Some of them will have a trade history. Some of them will have attribute cards that will show what your NFT attributes has if you're part of a collection. So it's this really interesting time where there's no open sea on Stacks yet. No one has won. I think it's safe to say that one of them will win over the course of the next year, with maybe a second one taking some niche place, maybe for higher end releases or something. But yeah, they're all experimenting at a rapid clip, so it's pretty cool to watch. I do recommend, check them all out, see which ones you like. You can make some arbitrage in different marketplaces. You can buy something on Stacks Art, maybe flip it on STX NFT. You just got tons of options. So it's exciting to see these dudes putting in work, or gals. I don't know the teams intimately. And yeah, last thing on my list is And this is kind of how it started, how the podcast all started was with a conversation with Patrick Stanley from Freehold and CityCoins. CityCoins has announced their next city, which is Austin. And I don't know if there's a official date yet. They voted, and it was between San Francisco, New York, and Austin won with NYC a close second. And then they voted again on whether they should wait for, I think it was Miami Coin to mature a little bit and build more infrastructure, or if they should just launch it like pretty much as soon as possible. And I believe the vote was to launch it ASAP. So you can probably expect to see Austin drop in the next month or so, like pretty quickly, if I had to guess. And yeah, so it's dope. CityCoins is booming. There was an article by Vitalik called Crypto Cities where he shouts out Miami Coin and CityCoins as well as other projects and what they're working on. And then Brian Armstrong retweeted that article. So CityCoins, and as a byproduct Stacks, it's getting some major love in the mainstream crypto Twitter, which is the only one that matters. So yeah, CityCoins is going crazy. I just have one more update, but I have to log in to Twitter because I am not organized. But update on the Miami Coin wallet. Let's end on that. I told myself I was going to do it every episode, and then I forget because your boy's busy. But with the price depreciation in Stacks currently, I don't know if it's hovering. Last time I checked, it was at like $1.80. The Miami Coin wallet was above 20 million at one point. It's currently at 17.8 million. So, you know, that's going to good uses. So I'm gonna keep reporting on that number until the city claims the wallet, and probably do updates every few months, seeing what they do with it. But yeah, CityCoin wallet is at 17.8 million, and it's a beautiful world. That's all I got for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you want to learn more about what I'm doing, or follow me personally, I'm on Twitter at JakeBlockchain, or you can go to the official website, builtonbitcoin.xyz, and see the video or the podcast or transcripts and links to anything that I talk about. So yeah, love y'all. Peace. See you next week.
Welcome to Built on Bitcoin.
I know that things don't always go your way, but I'll be right here waiting. And I've been waiting now. I've been trying to figure out a way to make it out, cause I don't think about